Welcome to Christian TV. Bible quiz from the Holy Bible. You conquer this test of your biblical knowledge. Before we start, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button to help us spread God's teachings. Share your score in the comments after the quiz. We're eager to hear from you, supporting us in bringing God's word to more people. Ready? Let's dive into the video. Bible quiz from the book of Leviticus Chapter 1. From where did the Lord speak to Moses when instructing him on how the offerings were to be made? Option A, from Mount Horeb. Option B, from the heaven. Option C, from the tent of meeting. Option D, from a burning bush. The right answer is option C, from the tent of meeting. If one were offering a burnt offering from the herds or flocks, what were two basic requirements? Option A, male and without defect. Option B, 1 year old and without defect. Option C, anointed with oil and without defect. Option D, 1 year old and solid color. The right answer is option A, male and without defect. For the burnt offering, the giver was to bring the animal and option A, sprinkle water on the head of the animal. Option B, confess his sins over the animal. Option C, anoint the animal's head with oil. Option D, lay his hands on the head of the animal. The right answer is option D, lay his hands on the head of the animal. All of the following animals were allowed to be burnt offerings except option A, young bull from the herd. Option B, donkey from the herd. Option C, male goat from the flock. Option D, male sheep from the flock. The right answer is option B, donkey from the herd. The flocks contained what types of animals? Option A, sheep alone. Option B, cows and donkeys. Option C, sheep and goats. Option D, sheep, goats and cattle. The right answer is option C, sheep and goats. In the burnt offering, where was the blood of the animal to be sprinkled? Option A, on the garments of the priests. Option B, on the ground inside the tabernacle. Option C, on the incense altar in front of the Ark of the Testimony. Option D, on the sides of the bronze altar. The right answer is option D, on the sides of the bronze altar. Who was to arrange the pieces of the animals from the burnt offering on the altar? Option A, Aaron the high priest. Option B, Aaron and his sons. Option C, Aaron's sons, the priests. Option D, Moses, Aaron, and Aaron's sons. The right answer is option C, Aaron's sons, the priests. In the burnt offering, how much of the animal was to be burned up? Option A, the meat and the fatty parts only. Option B, all of it. Option C, the meat parts only. Option D, the fatty parts and the inner parts only. The right answer is option B, all of it. What did the burnt offering do for the person who presented it? It does him. Option A, made atonement for. Option B, reconciled. Option C, sanctified. Option D, redeemed. The right answer is option A, made atonement for. The one bringing the burnt offering was to option A, slaughter the animal only. Option B, slaughter the animal and cut it into pieces only. Option C, slaughter, skin, cut it into pieces and wash its inner parts. Option D, present it to the priests and they would slaughter it. The right answer is option C, slaughter, skin, cut it into pieces, and wash its inner parts. What two parts of the burnt offering were to be washed by water? Option A, inner parts and the legs. Option B, all the pieces burnt on the altar. Option C, the head and hide. Option D, the fatty portions. The right answer is option A, inner parts and the legs. What two parts of the animal are explicitly listed at being burnt on the altar in the burnt offering, along with the pieces of meat? Option A, fat and inner parts. Option B, legs and ribs. Option C, skin and inner parts. Option D, head and fat. The right answer is option D, head and fat. After sprinkling the blood, what was the priest's other main responsibility in the burnt offering? Option A, reading the law to the people. Option B, taking the blood into the Holy of Holies. Option C, arranging the pieces on the altar. Option D, checking if the animal was without defect. The right answer is option C, arranging the pieces on the altar. On what side of the altar were the burnt offerings from the flock, sheep, or goats to be slaughtered? Option A, north. Option B, south. Option C, east. Option D, west. The right answer is option A, north. It is a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, and displeasing to the Lord. Option A, offering. Option B, aroma. Option C, atonement. Option D, sacrifice. The right answer is option B, aroma. What two types of birds were to be offered as a burnt offering? Option A, dove and raven. Option B, dove and sparrow. Option C, dove and pigeon. Option D, pigeon and hawk. The right answer is option C, dove and pigeon. The crop of the birds for the burnt offering were to be put with the ashes on the dais side of the altar. Option A, north. Option B, south. Option C, east. Option D, west. The right answer is option C, east. When one presented a bird for a burnt offering, what did the priest do before burning it? Option A, wring its head and drain the blood. Option B, slaughter the bird with a knife and drain the blood. Option C, breaking its neck on the horns of the altar. Option D, drain its blood and confess the sins of the people. The right answer is option A, wring its head and drain the blood.